Hi everyone, I'm Lisa Sieverts. I'm Agile Lisa on Micro.blog. I'm going to touch on a bunch of thoughts in this video, things I've learned during a career in project management. I'm trying to keep this light and interesting, so I'll really just touch the surface of a bunch of ideas. I'm looking forward to our discussion afterwards, where we can go deeper on the concepts that interest you. There are a few different qualities that make something a project, but here I'm just going to focus on one of them. Projects are characterized by uncertainty. That is, there is something unique about a project that means we can't simply follow a checklist. There's something unknown. Thus, that feeling that we have at the beginning of a project, where we say to ourselves, I see the goal, but we could go this way or that way, or perhaps this other way, and I just don't know which way is the best way. That feeling is inherent in the very nature of projects, because projects are characterized by uncertainty. These days, we have two big methods for managing projects. Those methods are called Agile and Waterfall. Waterfall is the older method, so we'll look at that one first. Waterfall, also known as traditional project management, dates from the World War II era and was a response to large defense-related projects that were perceived to have inadequate controls. The goal with traditional project management is to tackle each type of project work once. Thus, in the beginning of a project, we do the planning, which includes interviewing customers to collect all requirements. That means requirements for our high priority features, our medium priority features, our low priority features, and even the optional features. Then, based on that planning, we move on to design with the goal of designing the entire product based on all of those requirements. We then move to a build phase with the goal of building the entire product. This is followed by a test phase where the product is rigorously tested against the original requirements. And finally, the product is deployed to the customers. Waterfall works well when you have a map, when your project is well understood, and the uncertainty associated with your project is very low. So how does Agile project management work? Instead of trying to build products that meet all customer requirements, in Agile projects, we first focus on the highest priority requirements. Moreover, the customer is the one who decides what requirements are their highest priorities. Agile teams work in short sprints, typically 1 to 2 weeks. During the sprint, the team is designing, building, testing, and deploying their work. At the end of each sprint, the customer participates in a demo of the work that was done by the team and either accepts or rejects that work. Once the high priority features are complete, the team moves on to the customer's medium priority features, low priority features, and eventually those optional features. But the truth is that most of the time, the customer decides that only the high and medium priority features are actually necessary. And so we probably will never even build those low and optional features. Agile project management works well when you do not have a map, when your scope is not well understood, and the uncertainty of your project is high. I like to do this illustration. With any project, we start off at point A. When we haven't done any research, We don't know exactly what we're planning to do. However, with Waterfall, we start out at point A and we do a lot of planning. And through that planning, we decide that where we want to get to is point B. We do this by having lots and lots of conversations with our customers, doing a lot of thinking. And so we plan and plan and plan until we feel like we're ready to go. And then we follow our plan to get from A to B. Now, we might have had a great project. We might have followed our plan perfectly. We came in on time and under budget. But unfortunately, a lot of times what happened with Waterfall was that when we deploy, and there could be quite a bit of time between when the customer told us what they wanted and the time when we deliver at point B, by the time we get there, we may find out that what the customer actually wanted was C. With Agile, we follow a twisty, winding path, but we end up at C. We end up where the customer wants us to be because they guide us every step of the way. Agile project management is based on the Agile Manifesto, which was written in 2001. We're celebrating the 20th anniversary this year. There are 4 values. The first, we value individuals and interactions. That is, we value actual conversations and human-to-human contact over relying on processes and tools. We value working software, that is, something that actually does something, over talking about work or writing about work in the form of documentation. We value collaborating with our customer, and through that collaboration, allowing their wants and needs to emerge, over having an adversarial, contract-based relationship. And we value responding to change over following a plan. It's not that the things on the right are bad. They all have their place. But the items in bold on the left are the ones that we're always going to emphasize, and they'll be the ones that we use when we have to make decisions in our Agile projects. I just want to check in on the last one again, responding to change over following a plan. The bottom line here, and this is one of our guiding mottos in Agile, the bottom line is that reality always wins, no matter how much we're hoping for something else. So we might as well acknowledge reality and make decisions based on data and what we know is actually true. So next up, I'm just going to go through a few things that I've learned in my study of project management, and especially in Agile, that I think can help anyone with their work. Let's start off talking about prioritizing our work. Yes, coffee. Of course, coffee is important. But I also want to make it clear, when our plates are overloaded, when we have too much, when we've reached our maximum capacity for doing work, and this is true whether we're talking about a single person, whether we're talking about a project team, or even for entire organizations. At the moment, when we've reached our maximum capacity for completing work, every new project or task or work item that we add to our plate, it slows down everything else that we had ongoing. Keep adding more and more, you're just going to get slower and slower and slower to the point where you're making no progress at all. Another way of saying this is don't confuse motion with progress. Just because you're busy, just because you're answering tons of emails, just because you're in meetings all day long, that does not automatically mean that you are making progress toward your goals. This is true for teams, it's true for individuals, and it's true for whole companies. Okay, a few more best practices. When we think about our own work, try to break it down into small pieces, bite-sized work, so that each work item is small, it's very practical to get the work done, and you know you can do it. Going along with that, let's do fewer things at a time. The myth of multitasking. It's just a myth. The motto I like here is that we need to stop starting. Stop starting so many things and instead start finishing. Prioritize finishing. Thus, whenever you start something, try to take it all the way to done so that you don't have a lot of unfinished work clogging up your plate. Let's stay focused on actual work. Less talk, more doing. How do we do that? Well, instead of spending so much time thinking and designing and thinking and analyzing, do just enough thinking so that you can actually begin the work. Once you begin the work in a small chunk, take it all the way to done. And then focus on feedback. Now that you've got a small piece of work that you've taken all the way to done, to whom can you demo it? Because the whole point is to get feedback that you're on the right track, that you're not wasting time, that you're going in the right direction. Thank you for watching all the way through, and I look forward to hearing your thoughts, comments, and questions. There's so many different directions we can go with this, but I really want you to let me know what you're most interested in and where we should be focusing in our discussion. Talk to you soon.